The holiday dilemma. Should you focus on weight management or weight loss? We all know that this could be somewhat of a stressful time of year, and there's all sorts of temptations, whether that's leftover Halloween candy, which was, just for the trick-or-treaters or the kids, of course. We have pumpkin pie and other holiday treats coming up. So what should you do? Should you focus on weight management or weight loss? That's what we're covering today. Kellen Earn here, 13-year fitness coach, helping you develop the mindset and skill set for lasting transformation. So some people believe that due to the extra demands of life and the abundance of tempting food and treats, that it's best to be realistic and not put high expectations on losing weight during this time of year. And I can understand this as long as you're following some sort of plan. But if you make this a multiple month break from eating right and exercising, you're in for a rude awakening. And years ago when I used to work at the gym, we saw people do this all the time. They would take a break sometime in the fall and they would really dig themselves into a deeper hole, and they would come back feeling worse than before, and they would have to work that much harder to get out of it. So instead, what you want to do is shift into a lower gear, meaning let's say you were working out 4 days per week. Maybe you drop down to 3, or maybe you were working out twice per week. Maybe you drop down to 1. And if you do this, you'll discover a few things. 1, maintaining will be a lot easier. And number 2, when you do kick it back into high gear, it's going to be way easier. Now, why? You still will have some of the routines and habits in place that you can fall back into when the holiday season ends, and it will simply just be a matter of building up from there. Also, psychologically, it is easier than losing all your momentum and then trying to get back in the swing of things. There's a funny thing when people stop working out after a period of time. They almost start to avoid it and fear it because they think that they have lost it, quote, or they're going to be sore for days or too tired to function. And this really gets worse over time. In fact, I've heard some trainers say that they've had clients tell them, I'm going to get in better shape, then I'll work with you. Okay. So if you need to, slow down, but don't stop. Now, the other consideration with maintaining versus losing weight over the holidays is motivation. So I want you to think of the goal of maintaining. I want you to think, how does that feel? Especially if you haven't covered much ground or you've been at a plateau for a little bit. Typically, it's not all that motivating. Now, don't get me wrong, it may give us relief or comfort, but maintaining is typically not as exciting and doesn't inspire or activate the best within us. Because of that, it's very easy to fall into a slump when maintaining because we're not moving towards a compelling vision, something that really pulls us. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to crush it with PRs or personal records every week, but there's a different level of focus and seriousness that we bring to an area that we are trying to improve and not just maintain. Now, I'm not sure who needed to hear this, but I know this is a mental battle each year that people have in terms of, do they take a break for the holidays or do they keep going despite the challenging time of year? Now, if backing off or shifting into a lower gear is so important, what stops people from backing off? And there's this great quote by Kelsey Keenan, who's a fitness specialist. She says, "We don't end up failing our diets. We don't end up failing our workout programs. These programs weren't set up for our success because they don't fit with the lifestyle that we have. There's not only one right way to do things. So figuring out what feels best for your body, for the goals you have, and having the goal of being consistent over time." Now there's a key phrase there. Consistent over time. If you are just getting started, whether that's a home workout or going to the gym, and you were struggling to get in the groove of working out, then that might be the most important goal to start with, is just being consistent. And once you have that consistency down, you can revamp your program and add more and make it a little more complex. But if you haven't demonstrated you can work out every day, it might be time to back off to 4 days per week, or 3 times, or 2 times, or 1 time, okay? Whatever it is, build up your ability to do more and be patient with yourself and really master it. Years ago, I had posters taped up in my garage back in Chicago, which was, my gym, and it had various quotes, and one of them was, "We don't rise to our level of expectations. We fall to the level of our training." And there's so much truth to this. Now, some people will say, 1 day per week, that's not enough. I might as well not even do it. And this is basically the all or nothing mindset creeping in, okay? And this mindset, I've talked a lot about it in other posts and whatnot, but it will destroy your ability to stay consistent and to get fit, because it will trick you into believing that conditions have to be perfect for you to get a workout in or eat right. Instead, you want to get in the habit of getting workouts in when conditions aren't right, when it's difficult, when it's inconvenient. Why? Because you will build a different level of resilience, one that will really take you the distance, one that is long term. When you learn to get fit in difficult situations, less things stop you. You basically figure out how to navigate all sorts of challenges and still find a way to move towards your fitness goals. And I'll give you one example. So some of my best clients are pros, okay, at working out in hotel rooms. And as silly as that sounds, they know exactly what lightweight equipment to bring in order to still get a few workouts in while they're traveling. And are these perfect workouts and as good as if they had full access to equipment? Not always. But they're able to at least stay on track. They're able to stay in the habit and feel better while they're traveling just by getting something in while they're on the road. So that's just one example. But as soon as you let go of the all or nothing mindset, it opens you up to so many different ways to stay consistent in getting in workouts and really making headway on your goals. So hopefully you can see how this impacts your ability to be adaptable during the holidays and your ability to get fit despite challenging seasons of life. If you enjoyed this video and want more fitness tips to help you develop the mindset and skill set for lasting transformation, click the subscribe button below or click the link below where I go into much more advanced training.